Hello out there and welcome to my kitchen, and I'm here to tell you guys about how to get organized in your kitchen using our Tupperware modular system. I've been in this house for quite some time and we've had to move things a couple of times, and what's so great about using our modular system anywhere in the kitchen is that it has so many uses, not just in your own kitchen but in your garage, in your bathrooms. You can use them all over the place, and I love our modulars. So if you're thinking about how can I get more organized with chaos in my life, the modular system is the way to go. Now I'm going to tell you that you can have a pantry like you're going to see behind me. I'm going to show you a couple ideas of using your cupboards as well. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be perfect for you. So let me show you what I have going on here behind me. And if you've ever had the modular system before and you're thinking, my kitchen needs a facelift, I just had a facelift in my kitchen, and so we changed out the seal color. And that's what I love about our Tupperware products, is we are always updating and keeping relevant. And so we have some new colors if you just want to change out your seals because your product is still the same. So welcome to my pantry. I'm going to bring you guys in here. It's organized for me, and that's what works for me, and it keeps my family happy and they know where everything is. It also helps you to save time, money, and waste. So you don't have, I'm going to show you, bags like this that my kids will leave open and then they're just poking open. I'm going to show you how we store even the cookies and the chips and things like that, or just bags of leftovers. But you can have a system going on in here, so if there's something that the kids don't need to use, or your spouse, they don't have to worry about that section of your cupboard. So let me bring you in a little closer and show you kind of what we have going on. So I'm going to just take you up here to the top first. I have cereal boxes, and we have an extra added one. So you always want to think about having that extra container just in case, so that they can stay fresh forever. Now my family thinks cereal is good for every meal of the day, so you might not need as many. I use what we call the Super Oval 5 with a pour spout, so that I can pour right from this, and you can see they sit a lot more flush together for my counters. Our measurements are, this is a 5, where this is a 1, and it's an oval. So we have ovals and squares. Sometimes we have mini rectangles, and we have rectangles and super ovals, rectangles and squares, ovals and super ovals, sometimes mini recs, and a few other exclusive pieces. So you might want to think about that when you're doing your cabinet. Also, we don't typically use a tape measure to measure. We can do this for you virtually as well. We do by the height. So you can see here, this is a 3 and this is a 2. So this cabinet here measures the height of a 5 as well as this one, but not all of my counters are the same. So I'll show you that in a second. But you can see we have the cereal section, we have a baking section, and you can label them how you prefer. We have a snack center, so there's Jell-O, popcorn, marshmallows. How many of you guys have marshmallows that go stale because somebody doesn't close the bag all the way, so they stay nice and fresh right inside of there? Then we have fruit snacks and just the random granola bars and things like that. And once upon a time, I worked in a grocery store, so we had to be very particular about how we did shelving there. So for the most part, my canned goods, which I don't use a lot of, are pretty organized. We always have hot sauce and syrups and things like that, but I also have canned goods that are all facing each other, so they know behind that is more soups or more canned vegetables or more enchilada sauce, so that stays pretty organized. And then I use the bottom shelf for things that are more bulky or big things, the vitamins, as you can see, maybe an exclusive product that I might be trying that I'm not sure if it's going to go in a modular. And then I use cartons of almond milk because we have lactose intolerant. We also have the cartons of the chicken stock down there. So those kind of bulky things still go behind there, and it stays organized for me that way. And you'll notice that red seal that's hanging out. I have a couple more finishing my facelift, waiting for the order to get here. But for the most part, I knew I was giving it a facelift, so I changed out all my red seals to black inside of here. Black makes everything look thinner when you want to eat more, right? No, just kidding. So then up here we have our crackers that you can see, and yes, even the box of graham crackers, and I use the generic, are right inside of there. And then I have, I'll show you my coffee center in a moment, but I have hot chocolate and tea in there too. And you want your tea to be separate if it's in boxes, or if you have the same color kinds together, then you're gonna keep the them in separate full containers, and we would recommend a super oval one or oval one for those containers. So then here we start our pasta center and snacks and rices, and this is kind of all mixed together that I use down here. A couple more red seals to replace, but those are like from the bulk section at our grocery store. I have generic mashed potatoes, so when I don't want to make it homemade, I can pull it right out of there. We have pasta for the homemade mac and cheese, so we do a lot of things that way. And then again, down below, I have my Potato Smart, my Onion Smart, and bulk rice goes down there. And then just above that, a few random things. That's about the gist of my replaceable, like foil and things like that. Because of Tupperware, I don't need a lot of those type of material. So I use that, and then up high I can get organized. We have some other things that I've kept on hand that I use in my kitchen. So that would be my pantry. Now if you're thinking, I don't have a pantry, I have cupboards. So when you're using your cupboard space and you have your rectangles and your ovals, you want to think about your cabinet. So how far deep does your cabinet get? That will decide, do I want ovals? Do I want rectangles? Do I want super ovals? Now, an oval, you can fit 3 across the top. You can turn it this way and use another on the back, depending on how much space you have for a baking center. Maybe you're not a big baker like me, so you see it's a really small section, but flour is good for 18 months in here, and sugar is good for 2 years. So they last a long time, and I don't have to worry about that. Now, we make waffles and things like that pretty regularly, so that one stays in its container, comes out of the box. Well, what about the directions? What do I do with that? We either tape it to the top or the side of the container where it's not ugly, because I'm a little OCD like that, and I keep it organized that way. But baking soda, I use one for baking and a separate one for the fridge. You don't want to use the one that's in your fridge absorbing all the odors for your baking, so you keep that separate. And this guy you want to change out usually once a year to, it'll still do its job, but not quite as well. So if it's in Tupperware containers and they're properly sealed, you'll always know you have the freshest ingredients inside of there, even if you only bake once or twice a year like I do during the holidays. Then over here, I'm going to show you with my coffee center, or my beverage center, if you will. I have a whole cabinet up here, little peekaboo, that has all kinds of stuff going, but the whole rectangle 4 will fit the entire box of Keurig K-Cups. And yes, I still use a Keurig, have my cold brew, and I love that too, but I use my Keurig every morning, so I want a way to store those properly and they're not all over my cabinet like some of the other stuff when the kids put the dishes away. So we're going to come over to another place in my kitchen that I keep modulars and use them and organize them this way. Let me turn you guys this way a little bit. I will come down here, and you can see down here below. Let's see if we can get this guy down a little lower. And nope, that's not going to work. So I'll just show you guys here. I get organized with my tools as well. So if I want to use my spiral center, my baking, my cheese grater system, it's in there. And how about that awesome chopper that you have to have as well? It's stored in here, so the sharp blades and all the pieces go together. So whoever's making salsa or chicken salad or whatever we're using, it is stored all together right inside of here as well. So we do that, and then around the house, there's other pieces that we use for maybe cotton balls and Q-tips, but I'm going to show you one last one of an exclusive product that I love. So I'm going to bring you guys up here a little higher, and in this side, we have that super large rectangle. Now this guy, this is 2 rectangles side by side. And I put all of my mandolin pieces inside of here. So again, sharp blades stored right here together, but they're all together. Then on the opposite side, my silicone forms are all side in here, and they stay nice and clean. They don't attract any of the dust particles in the air or anything like that. So they stay organized, slides right in there. Now you might be wondering, why is this one on its side? Well, we use these choppers a lot. So we have one here so the taller people can reach, and one for the shorter people on the other side. And some of those things I don't quite care if the color is different. That's that beautiful blue we have. I've had red before. Some of you guys might have some colors that have been around for a long time. But Modulars will help you to keep your kitchen more organized and the rest of your house, and keep your food fresh longer. If you have those boxes, you want to take everything out of the boxes, with the exception of, you might have seen in there that I have cake mixes that stay in the boxes, so they stay right inside of there, and then all the directions are with them and they stay in their box, because the bugs that try to get into food, they're not getting into the food to eat it. They're getting in the food to lay their families inside the glue of the boxes. So if there's any bugs inside of your food, they're not hopping from container to container to container, as long as they're properly sealed all the way up, and they're not getting all kinds of trash and everything everywhere else. So that shows you how you can get nice and organized really easily inside of your kitchen. Ask your consultant for more tips. It also helps you with staying green and keeping our earth more friendly, with less paper and trash and things like that, because we're not throwing away a bunch of stuff. You're not wondering how long you've had something. You can keep it organized that way, and you can go to the store knowing I have all those products that I need, and my shopping list is a lot easier to make these days because I can see it. And no more kids sitting at the kitchen table looking at the box of games and stuff on the cereal box while they're having breakfast, and they should be getting ready for school, right? So it just helps to make your life more organized, a little less chaos in the chaos of the world, and brings us together in a different way. So if you have questions, reach out to us, and have a blessed day. Happy organizing.